Hi, my name is Michael Naylor, and I'm looking forward to meeting each and every one of you. I decided to give the video option a try on this particular assignment. I have to tell you that this book is probably one of the best books that I've encountered in a long while, and Rabbi Sachs is going to have the first word. He said on page 43, religions arose when mankind lifted its sights beyond the city, the tribe, the nation. Visions in these world religions are global, but their setting is local. The question is, are religions ready for the greatest challenge that they've ever faced? Namely, a world in which conflict at a local level can have global repercussions. Early in my class last year called God Talk, we spoke about the idea that who you have relations with, who you are seated across from at a table at dinner, who you share the Eucharist with, determines a lot about your ideas about, in this case, the racial question. There's a power in that sharing, but there's a nagging issue in all of that. What you see here is a data visualization of information from the 2010 census. Each of the points on this map is one of the 300 million Americans, and it's coded by race. So the blue dots are the European heritage Americans, and the other colors represent the various other racial groups. The thing that struck me when I looked at this map is the geography, that even if I wanted to create a table where we could have fellowship together, especially in my context of central Pennsylvania, it would be very difficult to do. Not impossible, but difficult. So, in the material, which inspires me, which I think is incredibly put together, there's an argument made that urbanization and the increase in digital technologies have put us all into contact with this interfaith environment. I'm not so sure that that's as true as possible. And so I'd like to think a little bit about using this material in a local context, as opposed to an urban context, maybe in my small town in central Pennsylvania. Clearly, the three parts that he lays out, the vision, the knowledge, and the skill set, I can do a great job in working through knowledge material with people. Sacred space and sacred time and sacred language and sacred foods and death and dying, all of those issues I could explore with a group who were interested in. In terms of skill set, I believe good communication skills, but also the idea of empowering, as leaders in our church, to empower individuals to be leaders in an interfaith movement makes a whole lot of sense. It's the vision, it's communicating the vision that I think is going to be the greatest challenge. Something I hope to learn a lot more about. In creating a space for interfaith work, I really believe that those 5 civic goods of plurality make a whole lot of sense and something we need a lot more of. For example, the material on social capital is so important. The bowling alone book, the idea that same number of people are bowling as used to, but they bowl on their own as opposed to bowling in leagues. The fall of interaction between people is huge, and I think interfaith is an avenue to go in that direction. If we go back to the out of many one, or as Rabbi Sachs may have said it, we recognize that God didn't create uniformity, God created diversity. And this material, it seems to me, could be used in a small town situation, in a lack of diversity situation. But I think we need to be sensitive to the context in which it would be used and not just necessarily assume that the vision is there. I'm going to leave you with one item of disillusionment and one item of hope. I've been working with our United Way for the last 5 years on their diversity and inclusion impact council. And during the last 6 months, we flailed around with the idea of how do you bring these issues to the fore. So we held 2 public meetings, one with an imam from a regional Islamic center and his wife, and one with a group of LGBTQ people. There are about 12 people on the council. The attendance both nights was about 12 people. So implanting the vision, it seems to me, is huge in a community like mine. And then on the other side, the hopeful side, if you saw this week on C-SPAN, there was a caller from North Carolina who said, I'm a white male, I'm an older white male, I'm prejudiced. What do I do about it? And there's a wonderful answer that the woman who was responding to the question gave. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down here, right down here at the bottom, so that you can check it out. It's worth a minute or 2 of your time to hear what she says about the potential for good. So, Interfaith Curriculum, great stuff. Pay attention, please, to the local context that it's used in. I look forward to working with you all.